D-Wade. I see he ripping off a jacket. Boy, we about to get serious in here. I know, like, gotta plug the wine. If y'all haven't, please buy some of D-Wade's wine. It's quite delicious. Thank you for the free case. I got quite drunk off of it. It was wonderful and amazing. And of course, you know how you style. See how you doing? All right, take a seat. Yes, y'all clap.
What's up?
Yes. All right, I told you all were informed. This is part of also a live podcast. My podcast, which is called Jemele Hill is Unbothered. Available
So I'm on your podcast for the first time?
You are. I mean, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I had to get wifey in first. You know what I mean?
You're right.
Yeah, you know how it goes.
Wifey up there, too.
Yes, wifey is here.
Yes.
Gab. But yes, so this is part of a live broadcast of Jemele Hill is Unbothered, available on Spotify. Y'all download it right this second. Tell your friends. So, Dwayne, there's a way that I start my podcast every single time. I ask every guest this question. When did you become unbothered?
I'm still trying to become unbothered. So I don't know if I've become unbothered, but I have unbothered moments.
Okay.
I think when did I start understanding what unbothered felt like and meant? Probably once I retired from sport.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably in the last 4 years, as I've tried to grow up a little bit, and I've grown a lot. I've learned a lot about myself. Sometimes when you plan sports, you gotta be, your alter ego comes out a little bit more than who you really are, because you gotta be a different animal, right? And so once I retired and that part was gone, I just was left with myself. And so I think in the last 4 years, I'm becoming unbothered.
So watching this documentary, which is phenomenal, and it was funny because Bill Plaschke, a columnist for the LA Times, he says that it was a given in '04 that you all were going to win. So that first game against Puerto Rico, nobody went. I'm nobody. I was there at the game. That was the very first Olympics I ever covered, was '04. And so they assigned me to cover men's and women's, both the men's and women's basketball team. And I remember thinking after y'all got drugged by Puerto Rico, I was just like, oh, they in trouble. And not like, we can flip a switch and win this, but the problems that were exposed were problems that you guys, it didn't seem like we're going to be able to get over. So you all win the bronze, which is considered a huge embarrassment because everybody's used to the U.S. dominating. For you, when they gave you that bronze medal, what did that feel like?
First of all, hindsight, the bronze medal is pretty good to win a bronze.
It is.
Like hindsight, you're like, I'm on the podium. You know what I mean? Like athletes work their tail off to get on that podium. And we looked at that bronze like it was a penny. That's how we treated it. And that's how we felt in the moment because of the expectations that's put on the U.S. men's Olympic team. I mean, we supposed to win gold, and we are the guys, and everyone want to take pictures with us, and so we were embarrassed. That's what the bronze felt like. It felt like this is what embarrassment feels like. And I mean, we felt it once we got back as we landed in the States. We felt all of it. One of the worst things is when we went to the Olympics, Jadakiss had this Jadakiss song. What was the name of it? Why? Favorite song. We all rocking it. By the time we got back, it was a remix. And we were the headline. And so, but one thing I remember, Jemele, is I remember sitting there, and I'm young. I don't really know what it means to be on the Olympic team yet. I knew what the dream team looked like. I know what we all felt like with the dream team getting put together. But I didn't feel like I wasn't supposed to be on that team. Like, I got a call 2 weeks before training camp, like, hey, would you show up? And so I really didn't understand, like, really how important it was and how big it was at that time. But what I did realize is that feeling sucked. And I remember watching Argentina celebrate on the court after the game. And I was like, that just looked, the celebration and the way they celebrated together, it looked different. It felt different. And we knew we had a lot of work to do to get to that point where we were actually happy for each other's success the way they were. Like, you could tell they were brothers. and like it was tears. It was real, it was real tears. And so we couldn't have won that because we couldn't have appreciated what it would have been to be able to walk away with that gold. And so we needed that butt whooping.
So at that point, once that experience is over, are you thinking, I want to do this again? I want to redeem myself or help America redeem itself?
Absolutely not. Never want to play again. It's like, I'm not coming back here. I done gave up a month and a half of my summer. I just got the NBA. I got a little money. I'm trying to get out here. I live in Miami. I'm trying to get out here in these streets. And then, you know, it sets in. And like, once again, the embarrassment sets in. And the competitiveness, the competitor in you sets in. And you're like, okay, we got to go redeem ourselves. And so 06 came. And we like, all right, let's go out and get this gold in the World Games and get ourselves ready. And then smack, another bronze. So, yeah, I didn't think I would ever play. A lot of guys, if you ask every guy on that team, they were like, we're never playing again. And it wasn't that we were just that bad. Like, we were not used to the rules. We were not used to the game. And so a lot of it felt like, oh, we getting cheated. You know, a lot of calls that you get in the NBA, you're not getting over there. You know, a lot of the things people can put the ball on the rim and you can knock it off. And we like, wait, what? We did that in the hood. We ain't, you doing this in the Olympics?
That's milk crate rules, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And so, like, we didn't know a lot about the FIBA game. Like, even when I got over there I forget where we first got to, they changed the balls on us. Like, we were playing with FIBA balls. I'm like, what is, this ball is small, it's slick. Like, we're used to playing with NBA basketballs. And so everything was different. And I was like, I don't want that smoke no more. And then a couple weeks later, I was like, I'm back in.
I kind of want the smoke.
Yeah, I want that smoke next time.
So once the team was assembled, obviously you went through a very significant injury that, as you all saw in the documentary, that there were some questions about whether or not you would be somebody, I don't know if necessarily made the team, if that's too dramatic, but once you got hurt and you have committed to this team, how did that impact your mindset going into things?
Yeah, well, I mean, let's take it to 2006. Top of the mountain. World champion, finals MVP. You can't tell me I ain't the best player in the league. I'm feeling myself. Going to the World Games, I think I almost averaged 20 that summer. We can go back and look, but I think it was about 19 points something. And so I'm like, I'm feeling good about, even though we lost, we won a bronze, I'm feeling good about my role and where I am. I'm one of the guys on this team. And then injury happens the next season, shoulder, knee. And now I'm on the outside watching the 2007 team in Vegas come together and watching Kobe now step into that role I was in. And now I'm looking at it like, wait, hold on. Like, do I even fit on this team? And then I go through the season and I'm not healthy. And the Heat actually shut me down halfway through the year because Rouse was like, go get healthy. And now I got like a month and a half to get ready for the Olympics, and all the conversation is about, the team. And my name is not brought up in the team. And so I'm like, I'm hurt. Like, I'm really hurt. I understand it from the standpoint of like, yes, I didn't have a great year last year, but like I'm one of the guys that's been a part of this. And so having to try out for the Olympic team twice, that hit my ego. That hit my ego. But it really just kept, putting that fuel on that fire for me, which I needed.
So once you are on the team and you guys are all together, given the news of the day, I'm just curious, was there any fights in practice? Did anybody? You want to know, did anybody steal on somebody or like?
No, it was all hugs.
All hugs?
All hugs.
Okay. No, but what was that? Because often when you talk to players, especially once you guys are retired, they talk about those are the times you miss the most. So what was that experience like as you guys are trying to gel? You have this common mission. What's that experience like?
Well, just getting to know each other. You know what I mean? Like, first of all, we're all fans of the game. We all fans of each other. We're not playing, we watching our favorite players play. And these are all the guys that you hear, as LeBron said in the doc, these are guys that you was like, man, if I had Chris Paul, come on now. You know what I mean? And so now you have it, and now you're around these guys, and now it's like, it's cool. Like now I'm around Kobe. Like I grew up wearing Kobe jersey. I grew up, trying to be like Kobe, right? And now I'm around Kobe. And so being able to be a fan of these guys was amazing, but then be able to learn more about them, to be able to call ourselves brothers and family. Like we really had to get to know each other. We really had to spend a lot of quality time together, and we did that. And whether it was at breakfast or whether it was in the weight room, whether it was in workouts, whether it was on the plane, like wherever we were, we just was all together. And like I said, it was just watching like Argentina, like they were together, and we couldn't just show up and like not know nothing about each other, not know nothing about each other's family, not really like want it for the other guy as much as you want it for yourself. And so that's what we built.
So who is it that you would say your relationship with came the furthest during that time?
Kobe. I would say, I think, well, first of all, I believe all of us would say Kobe because nobody had a relationship with Kobe. So if you was able to say hi, it went far. But me personally, yes, I would say probably, if I say two people, I would say Kobe and Chris Paul. Chris Paul was coming off of his rookie year at that time as well. And so I didn't know CP. Bron and Carmelo knew CP. And it was like, all right, I'm friends with them, so I guess I got to become friends with him. And then I actually started, like, I love the guy. I was, oh, he's cool. But Kobe was somebody for me that, we both was playing the same position. I was 26, he was 30. I was chasing him to get in his eyesight so he can respect me. And I've always heard about his work ethics. I've always heard about this character called the Black Mama that we all, got wind of. And I wanted to see what the Black Mama was really like, right? Like, I'm like, how hard do he really work? Like, I work hard. And then I got a chance we all got a chance to experience the work. And like these stories that we tell, there's only a few. Like he kept doing this. Like he kept one-upping us. If we showed up at 6 to work out with him, he was like, all right, well, I'm gonna get up at 4. He like, you know what I mean? And so like being able to sit like this and have conversations with him and be able to understand his mindset, be able to laugh with him, that's a lot to laugh with Cole at that time. Cole wasn't a laugher. He didn't talk to you. He didn't dap you up before games. He wasn't a laugher. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like we all had handshakes. Kobe had no handshakes with nobody. It was just straight like, let's get to it. You know what I'm saying? And so it was great for me to be able to, one of my idols, somebody, I always say Jordan, Kobe, and Iverson are my favorite players who I model my game after, to be able to get to know him personally.
Well, with Kobe, I think for a lot of people seeing this footage, it's celebratory, but it's also heartbreaking at the same time. So when you first saw this in its final form, seeing all the footage and everything together, what was your gut reaction?
Yeah, same thing. And I got a chance because, I was lucky enough to, once again, let me just say this. I was lucky enough to be an executive producer on this. I give a lot of credit to the producers and directors for reaching out and really, understanding the importance of having the players' voices a part of this. And so I got a chance to kind of get in early before all the edited footage, and I got a chance to see a little bit more. And I watched it by myself the first time. My wife wasn't in the room, and I watched it by myself, and I was crying. I got emotional. Like you cannot see Kobe and Gigi together and not burst out in emotions and in tears. And so it was very emotional, and that's why it was important that myself and LeBron and Melo and CB and all the guys' voices was a part of it to tell Kobe's story the way that we seen it, the way we experienced it. And so, but yeah, all the emotions.
So, statute of limitations have passed. Is this where the Heatles were formed? Is this where it happened? You can tell us now, T-Wade.
Like, what do you mean by that?
Okay, so did you, during the 08 Olympics, were you having conversations with LeBron, with Bosh, who maybe other people we don't know, saying like, what we need to do? We need to be like Voltron. Some of y'all too young to get that, but like, we need to form this power team. Is this where these conversations were happening?
No.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I gotta be honest.
What?
I do not believe you. And tell me now, one time, nowhere was anybody talking about playing together.
I wasn't privy to that conversation. Let me just say that.
Do y'all believe him?
I don't understand how y'all can ask me and then don't believe my answer. You believe my other ones though? You don't believe this one? No, I don't. The conversations never happened.
Never happened.
I'm not in my...
Because this is 2 years before.
Yeah, I mean, I get it.
You know the timeline, right?
I understand how it looks.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Y'all like, I understand how it looks, people. But, no, we didn't have the conversation. But what I do think happened, just hear me out, is being able to play with that level of talent, to be able to, in 2004, we all had egos, and we brought all our egos, and we didn't put them under an umbrella. We just brought them all in. In 2008, we learned what sacrifice was really about. We learned that it was what bigger than you was really about. And so I think that took on a bigger message for some of us that, first of all, I like playing with this talent. I mean, no, I didn't say nothing about my Heat teammates, but I mean, they're not Chris Paul and LeBron and Carmelo. And so I think you just, just in the back of your head that you can play with this talent. You get a chance to do it in All-Star games. You have fun with it. You get a chance to do it in the Olympics. It's amazing. But we never thought it would, I never thought LeBron James would play in Miami. Why? Why would I think that? Why would I think?
I might be starting to believe you a little bit.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why would I think LeBron would come to play in Miami? Come on, guys. Like, just seriously.
I mean, it is Miami.
And I held it for 2 years.
I didn't say that he gave you the yes then. What I'm saying is that, well, you like, Miami's kind of cool. It's a good place.
I mean, yeah.
No state taxes, like.
I don't think he'd worry about state taxes. He had 90 off the back. It was never a conversation. And like, I feel like I've been asked this question so many times. I feel like I should just start lying and say yeah, because then I feel like we can just move on from it.
Yeah, we probably stop asking
so
at that point.
I'm still not saying yeah right now.
It's okay. It's your story. You stick it to it. So once it's over, you guys achieve something that you had been fighting for a couple years. What is that feeling like when they put the gold on you?
So Doug Collins, he talks about it in the documentary, and he says in there, he told us to make sure that we hear the national anthem, right? And you hear him say that, and you want to get to that because if you're hearing the national anthem, then you know that you guys have won because we've been up there before and we didn't hear our anthem. And just being up there in that moment, I believe each individual went through the Rolodex in their mind of their entire basketball journey. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to be great in anything. It's even hard to be average in a lot of things. And so to become great, you start thinking about all the work that's went in it. You start thinking about the surgeries. You start thinking about the sacrifice. You start thinking about all the hardship. I mean, I'm standing up there at 26 years old, and I'm fresh in the middle of a divorce and custody battle. I'm fresh off of 2 surgeries. It's real. Life happens. And so you're sitting up there in that moment and you realize, like, through all that darkness, like, it is still light. You know what I mean? It comes out, and it came out in the form of a gold medal. And just sitting up there, like, you could see my face, I was just like, I just couldn't believe it. I was like, this feeling that I have, like, I just tried to, like, just stay in that moment because I knew that feeling don't happen often. You don't win a gold medal. You don't succeed in that way. That you don't get to play and stand next to Kobe on, like, it doesn't happen. And so for me, I was just like, inside, I just was like, please just go slow, National Anthem. Like, go slow. You know what I'm saying? Because I just wanted to, we all wanted to just enjoy the moment. And because all of us, moments go by, they go past so fast. And we can't really enjoy them. And so that was like an out-of-body experience where you can kind of just sit in it and just look around, and you see the tears of family that's in the stands, and back home, like, I knew my wife was going. She wasn't my wife at the time, but I knew that my new girl that I was trying to get with.
The girl you were courting.
Yeah, the girl that's old school
I know.
courting. I knew she was back at the crib going crazy. You know what I mean? I knew she felt good about her situation because she had me. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, but you're sitting there, you're just thinking about just everything. And just that moment for me and for all of us, just like you go through your own individual journey through life. And, the highs are great, the lows suck. And that was the highest of highs. And so it felt amazing.
What do you think you learned about yourself going through both 04 and 08?
I think I say it all the time, but I learned what the bigger picture looks like and what it feels like. I think when you get into the NBA and you're pretty good. You're getting all this attention. You're getting all this. You really jump into the individual. It becomes about you right away. And I lost my mind a few times. You know what I mean? And got humbled in 04. Got humbled in 04. Got humbled in 06. Got humbled in 07. And so I just realized that and my dad always told me when I was young, and I don't think I realized it as much, but my dad didn't care if I came home and I had 40 points. My dad cared when I came home and I had 15 points, and I had 12 assists, and I had 10 rebounds, and I had 7 blocks. This is really a stat line, by the way.
It did feel real personal.
Yeah, I remember it because I remember my dad celebrating and taking me to McDonald's. I'm like, all I had was 15. But he was trying to show me that it's not about the individual, that, you play a team sport. And if and I think, for a lot of us, if we wanted individually to be great, then, we should have picked up golf like Tiger, or we should have picked up tennis like Serena, singles tennis. But we didn't. We picked up a team sport. And when you play a team sport, it has to become bigger than you. And I learned that throughout that process.
Thank you for ending a mystery. So parents do have McDonald's money. That actually is they do.
They actually do. But it was a little when they had it was like a little quarter pounder. That was like a $2 joint. It was only because it was $2. It was a special that was it had about a week. And that was the week, baby.
So I want to pivot slightly because I'm sure as you watch this, I'm wondering if you think about maybe the man you were then versus the man you are now, and what your evolution has been like. Is that now you're not playing, now you have become, in many ways a spokesperson for a lot of different things. And I think people look at you as a family man, a great husband, great father, all those things. So when you think about how you've evolved as a man from there to now, what comes to mind for you?
Well, I didn't eat fish back then. I didn't eat vegetables back then.
You didn't eat vegetables?
I was on burgers and fried chicken.
Dog, your code numbers. Woo!
Real. My meal was chicken fingers and fries, hot dogs and burgers. Literally, that's how I was hooping.
So you was eating off the kids' menu.
Straight